It's time for Art Lab with your favorite mad scientist, Dr. Archibald Kerfuffle. Today's experiment, potato prints.
Oh, hello, and welcome to my secret laboratory. My name is Dr. Archibald Kerfuffle, and I'm here because today we are going to experiment with different materials at home to create potato prints. Ooh, it's one of my favorite experiments. We are going to be using potatoes to create a print. Now, if you remember, a print is when an artist imprints some sort of design onto a surface using different materials, typically ink. But today, instead of ink, we are going to be using food coloring, and we are going to be using potatoes as our main way to stamp on the circular design on our pieces of paper. Now, this activity is similar to other prints that artisans have been doing for centuries. In fact, let's take a look at some of the artists from Bagru, India, who use hand block prints to create their designs.
In the back streets of Bagru, on the outskirts of Jaipur, tradition still means a lot. Despite the encroachment of the urbanized, industrialized world, this ancient village remains home to a unique cast of printers whose craft has been passed down the generations for at least 300 years.
My name is Suraj Narayan Titanwala. I am the master craftsman woodblock printing.
Chippers like Titanwala are the custodians of the traditional hereditary craft of woodblock printing. The elegant patterns he uses have been made here for hundreds of years and are only sold on the local market. Just as he inherited his craft from his parents and grandparents, he too will pass on these skills to the following generations. The intricate designs that Titanwala and his colleagues print are extremely laborious, requiring stamping many times, and only a select few printers are dedicated enough for this task. The woodblocks they use are also hand-carved by local artisans, who work tirelessly to create these exquisite patterns. These are not the only roles in the local printing economy. Each of these roles is a traditional, family-centered one, even the washing and dyeing. The local focus has allowed Bagru's artisans to survive, where elsewhere in the country larger producers have gone out of business. Jaipur-based design company Anoki has helped to breathe new life into the local scene with their passionate support of traditional printing techniques, and what once seemed a dying art may now flourish for generations to come.
Wasn't that amazing? Now friends, we get to create our own hand block prints, but this time using a half of a potato. So let's get out your materials and Miss Annie will show you the rest.
Today we're making circular hand block prints inspired by the artwork of the artist Yayoi Kusama. And as we just saw, Yayoi Kusama is obsessed with circles. And a circle is an example of a geometric shape. Remember, geometric shapes are those shapes that have names, and a circle is one of the geometric shapes. So in order to do this project, what you're going to need is a baking sheet to avoid messes. So if you have your baking sheet, you can lay it out on your table and put your materials on your baking sheet to avoid any messes. Another thing you're going to need are sheets of either white paper or colored paper. It's up to you. If you only want to do your prints on white paper, that's fine. But if you have some colored pieces of paper, I would also use those colored pieces of paper to print on. You're also going to need food coloring and a bowl. In fact, if you have a few colors of food coloring, you can put one color in each bowl. So here I have red, yellow, and blue. But if you only have one food color and one bowl, that's fine too, okay? And you're also going to need a potato cut in half. You can either use a small potato cut in half, or you can use a larger potato cut in half. It doesn't matter. In fact, if you accidentally cut your potato in half this way and it looks like an oval, that's okay. You can still use it as a stamp to do our block prints. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to get out your first sheet of paper. Again, it can be a white piece of paper or it can be a colored piece of paper. Does not matter. You're also going to get out your food coloring that's been poured into a bowl. If you haven't yet poured it into a bowl, go ahead, take your food coloring, snap off the cap, and squeeze that food coloring into your bowl. Then what you want to do is you want to take your potato that's been cut in half, and you're going to be holding the end that is uncut, having the cut part on the bottom. Then what you're going to do, just like a stamp, you're going to hold that end of your potato and you're going to dip that cut end of your potato in the food coloring. And once it feels like it has the food coloring on the bottom, like that, you're going to then line up your potato on top of your paper and then press down. Don't move it all over. Keep it in one spot, just press down. And then once you're ready, you can hold down your piece of paper and pull it away. Wow, my potato has created a circle. So I'm going to use some more of my food coloring that's on my potato to move to a different area and do the same thing. Press down and lift. Notice this one was not full. There was not enough food coloring on that. So what you can do is you can put it back on top and press it down and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle it until it looks a little bit more filled in. If you need to dip your potato in food coloring a second time to do it, that's fine too. You can press, press, press like that. Then I'm gonna move over to a different section and press and lift. Move over to a different section, press and lift. Nice, looks like that one needed more food coloring, so I'm gonna dip my potato back in my food coloring. I can put it over that circle and press down again. Nice, and I'm gonna keep pressing down and stamping my potato onto my page in different sections of my paper to create a pattern of circles. See, leaving some space in between. And I'm gonna go ahead and just fill my page with all these printed circles, okay? If you want to keep your circle with some of those white spaces on the inside, that's fine too. But I'm just going to go ahead and stamp my potato on my page, all over my page. That's fine. All right, so now that I have my circles on my page, I'm just going to put my potato off to the side, and I can take my page and I can put it in a different area for it to dry. And then I'm gonna grab a new sheet of paper. Maybe this time I'm gonna use a colored sheet of paper. And if you have a second food color that you want to use, you can switch out your colors. This one is blue, so maybe I want to now use a blue food coloring on my piece of paper. And then I'm gonna take my potato and I'm going to then dip it now in my blue food coloring. And then once it's all on the bottom of my potato, I can take that potato again and press down to stamp. Lift, press down to stamp. Then lift. I can dip it back again because I notice I need more food coloring. Find a different area, press and stamp. Nice job. And I'm just gonna keep doing this all around my page so that I'm filling my page with all these circles of now my new food color. Now, if you just have one food color, that's okay. You can just use that same color over and over and over again. Also, remember, if your potato mark is leaving some spaces, that means you need to put more food coloring on the bottom of your potato. But if you like how it looks, you can keep it just the way it is. So I'm gonna keep pressing down and stamp until I have filled my page now with all these circle dots. Okay. I really like the texture that the potato is making when it doesn't have enough food coloring on the bottom of it. Okay, I've filled my page now with all these circles. So again, I'm gonna put this page in a new area to dry. And I'm gonna get out another piece of paper. This time I'll use maybe a different color. If you have two halves of your potato and you wanna switch out your colors, you can even grab the other half of your potato to do a new color. Also, if you only had small potatoes instead of a big potato to stamp with, that's fine too. I cut up many potatoes so I can use all these different sort of potatoes for my stamps. So I'm gonna take the smaller potato. This one looks more like an oval, but that's okay. I'm going to dip it now in my new color, which is yellow. And I'm going to see how it looks on this new sheet of paper. Stamp, stamp, stamp. Great. So keep dipping your potato into the food coloring and then press down on your page to stamp it, and then find new area and keep filling in different parts of your paper with these circular or oval prints. And if your food coloring gets a little drippy and your shape turns into an organic shape, that's okay too. It's just fun to practice stamping like this. There we go. Okay, friends. So you can just keep stamping all different types of colors of piece of paper with different colored food colorings, or you can just keep printing your one food coloring color on white piece of paper. It's up to you. All right, I hope you have fun printing. Good luck.
Oh my! Well, friends, I hope you have fun making your own potato prints. Remember, you can experiment by making them further apart, by making them close together, and even experiment putting one color on top of the other. See what it makes. Have fun, my art scientists, and I'll see you next time.
This has been another Art Lab with Archibald Kerfuffle.